Good morning, Philippines. Well, it's a sad day for Filipinos as they start to rebuild. And in this video, I'll show you some of the damages from the aftermath to my sister's house and what they went through in terms of the assault by nature and what the government has come forth with so far. This is the scene from the rooftop that they had to flee to in the midst of the storm. The river has overflown its banks and they're huddled around this rooftop, just trying to survive the wet, the cold, the wind, and not being swept away by the torrents of water. So it was so bad that my nephew's wife with a baby ended up having to climb a water tower in the midst of all this. There she is struggling to survive. And this went on over just the course of a couple of hours. Meanwhile, we were here in our complex with relatively little flooding, unaware of what was going on. So this is what happened in the aftermath. Now the typhoon has passed. We revisit the home that my in-laws will no longer be allowed to live in, as it's right by the river. There's mud over everything. Of course, the electronics are all soaking wet. And it's caked higher in the lower floor, but it went on the upper floor as well. Furniture is ruined, and now begins the scavenging and salvaging of whatever you can, what's left. The neighborhood is finished. Nobody will be allowed to return, and the government is putting together a package for resettlement. The structures themselves have been weakened by the water, so they'll all have to be knocked down. But in the meantime, we go in and try to accumulate whatever clothes we can. It's unsafe to walk in this collapsed building now. Danger of cutting your feet or gashing yourself on a jagged piece of metal or rebar or something sticking out at any time. So these people are taking their own lives in their own hands. The building could collapse on top of them as they try to retrieve whatever memories and valuables that they can recover before their final departure. So they came in with a bunch of bags, and that's my sister-in-law, Jovelyn. The family's going to be relocated to her new home in our subdivision. The river went down pretty much as fast as it rose, and watch she doesn't fall through the collapsed wall that is there. As you can see, the water just swept right through it, and we'll head over to the river and take a look just how high it really is. There's some clothes drying there that have been retrieved. They didn't fall into the muddy waters. So as I said in a previous video, a family of 11 died right next door to this house and were swept down river, never to be seen again. The river has a wall on the far side which seems to have held, but see for yourself, it has dropped back to where it used to be, or usually is. The water's accumulated along with the mud, and now Renette, my brother-in-law, starts scraping the mud off the floor so that people can hopefully be able to get around during this evacuation without slipping on that tile floor in the mud. It's very dangerous. So he's doing this all by hand. There are no remediation companies to call. It's all the Filipinos who can do pretty well anything to some degree. So he's pushing all the mud out of here, making it a little bit safer, hopefully, to retrieve whatever's left. But they won't be returning here. And this is what I've heard so far in terms of a compensation package. The government is offering them a choice. The Cebu government is offering them a choice of 30,000 pesos, which is about $550, $600 American, as compensation for the recovery package. And it's either that or a lot, which will be further up the mountain on a hillside, which leaves people to wonder if there'll be an avalanche threat there during an earthquake. Now, a lot of damage was also done during these earthquakes we've had recently. They've cracked fissures in the rocks and made new passageways for water, and I've discussed that in another video. But the total budget for this project is just 50 million pesos. So there's not a lot left. Now Renatti's retrieving what clothes he can. They're all brown. It'll be a big wash day. They'll have to wash these clothes several times over if they can get them clean ever again. He's hopeful. We all have that favorite shirt, but maybe we'll just have to end up chucking them away. Some of the furnishings, like the metal bed frames, may be recoverable, but mattresses are all done. And I don't want them wandering around in here, but I can't stop them. I'm afraid that the whole thing could collapse right on top of them at any time. So I tried to provide you with real time and reality as it is, as a family man here in the Philippines. And if you'd like to know more about what goes on here, hit that subscribe button. But I really appreciate if you could click a like here so that this video will be circulated and others will see exactly the extent of the damage here. The family will all now head to the chapel in hopes of some blessing, but the chapel itself has been flooded with mud, and there's nothing but a motorcycle stored in there right now as they make their escape. In one respect, Typhoon Tino was probably a wake-up call for the Typhoon Uwan, which followed it further north through Manila and may have ended up by the horrific numbers in Tino, forewarning the people of Manila just how dangerous these typhoons can be again. Not that the Filipino needs any reminding. They go through 8 to 11 of these every season, but this year has been a particularly bad year, along with the earthquakes and this super typhoon that went north. it's going to be a rough go of it, and the whole nation has been declared a state of calamity for 1 year. So these people have a lot of rebuilding to do. Please say a prayer for my Filipino friends, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk to you in the next one.
Ang universe. Aris ako dire kina ako no sa padaplin. Magpa-picture siya. Magpalistan mo. Wala pa.
Nato yung sekretary dito.